Welcome back, everyone. Appreciate you clicking the video and checking out my channel here. If you are a new viewer to this channel, really appreciate you taking the time to check me out here. Want to kind of give everyone an update here. As you can tell, I'm trying something new. Doing a voiceover is not something I have ever done before in my videos. Wanted to give it a try. Thought it would give me a chance to show some more actual action shots of the project and the build here. There's still actually a ton of video that got left on the editing floor. But again, taking out the monologues, I thought gave me a chance to add probably, I don't know, let's say 4 or 5 minutes of extra actual video content instead of you staring at my ugly mug, during the videos I've done in the past here. So this is brand new for me. There's a lot of new video stuff I'm trying. There's lots of new audio stuff I'm trying. And even to go to the woodworking, there's a lot of stuff I'm trying here. I am not a formally trained woodworker. I'm pretty sure I've talked about that in the past. I honestly go to the school of YouTube and go to YouTube University, and have learned a lot of what I'm doing that way, on top of just trying to work through processes that I think make sense to me. So if something in here looks off to you, it's either me trying to figure something out, or maybe I saw something and am trying it out. Either way, I really enjoyed this project, and plan on definitely doing stuff like this again in the near future. I do really enjoy doing the cutting boards, but I do have other, I'll say, aspirations, other projects in mind that I want to continue to try and do stuff like this in the near future. Have a couple table builds I want to do, a couple more benches along these lines that I want to do. I'm going to say actual benches, where this is more of a tabletop here. Want to take a stab at doing epoxy. I did a epoxy cutting board a while back. In my opinion, it was kind of a flop. That's why I never posted the video here. Lots of micro bubbles in there, and just I think I need to just kind of explore it a little bit and figure out what works, what doesn't work. Unfortunately, it's kind of an expensive learning curve, but it is what it is. So what you're looking at here, this project here, I'm using red oak. This is the first time I have worked with this before. I will definitely be using this in the future. This was a really nice wood, visually very pleasing as well. It is a little, in my opinion, more old school, or maybe for an older audience. And honestly, I do prefer walnut. It's just so visually pleasing to me. But I will be using this again. This was nice. Maybe white oak might be the next time I take a stab at oak, but red oak will definitely be used again here. So the overall dimensions of this project, it's going to be roughly 14 inches deep. It's going to be 36 inches wide and about 30 inches tall for this project. So that's going to be the overall dimension of this project. One of the first things that you're going to notice here that I've never done before is actually these table legs before. So the end user wanted these to be 2 inches by 2 inches at the top, and then get tapered down to 1 inch by 1 inch at the bottom. I did not have anything that was 2 inches thick, so I grabbed some, I'll say, sister cutoffs from the same pieces of this red oak, and laminated and glued them together. So they were all over 2 inches in all dimensions. I think they were all close to like 2 1/4, 2 1/2 in all dimensions. That gave me a chance to get it down to the final 2 inch by 2 inch dimension that you're starting to see here. So starting to work on the castle joints here, something I've never done before here. So that's kind of what you're looking at here, what I'm drawing and figuring out here. But I believe I am about to interrupt myself here and actually talk about what I'm doing here. So I'll shut up and let myself talk. Okay, so I have it marked out on the one. I have to do it on all of them still. I'm going to see if I can show it to you here. There you go. So the piece in the middle here is what's going to get gutted out.
and these side pieces are what's going to stay and allow me to drop this piece into here. So that's what I'm working on.
Okay, so the cut that you are looking at right now is actually putting the castle joints into the legs here. Whipped up a quick jig. You can see videos like this all over YouTube. I'm not going to create a video on this. It would be a two-minute video and just not worth the time and effort to build it. Took me maybe 20 minutes to put this together. The longest part of this whole process, honestly, was just the gluing up process and letting that stop. But in the future, I do definitely plan on doing this type of joint. I really love the way visually the way this looks. Only difference I would really make with doing this again in the future would be to get a dado stack. I think it would be a lot cleaner. And obviously would be a lot faster to do that. First time doing this, I felt more comfortable with this more traditional blade, but as I get more comfortable, I may be more willing to add a dado stack. We'll see.
Did a total dry fit here. I'm happy. It looks really good. I finally got the castle joints all figured out. I did a bunch of, I'll say, minor tweaking. I did it off camera. Just, trying to tap the pieces in, didn't fit, go back to the table saw, remove a hair, and, keep doing it back and forth. If you look close here, and I'll try to see if I can show it to you here. As I'm knocking the camera around, here we go. You can see I've started to mark it. So there's a 3, 3, 3, and then it's 4, 1, 2 here. So I know how to put this all back together. The other thing I discovered during the dry fit here is I have to put in the bottom pieces, the rails on the bottom here before I can do these first. It doesn't work the other direction. But it's good. I'm happy with where it's at right now.
Okay, so this is getting into the taper jig here. I have to say, as simplistic as this jig is, it is super effective. Do all your markings, your pencil markings on the legs. Set your taper jig, and in this instance, set it and forget it, because I was going from a 2-inch by 2-inch square down to a 1x1. Honestly, it was set that back plate up, run the leg through the table saw, rotate, and run the other piece through. I was a little nervous with this one at first. Again, never having done this before. It worked beautifully. Super effective. I've got a video on the channel here explaining how I put together this taper jig, and hope it's it helps someone in the future and gives you guys the confidence to build one of these on your own. Again, I am not a professionally trained carpenter. I'm just a regular old dumb sales guy in the world of manufacturing who's got some spare energy and needs to kind of get some of that creative outlet taken care of. Something I do want to point out here, and this was just dumb old me. You can see there was 4 sets of holes there for the dowel pins there. In the final product, you'll never know it's there. I lucked out, to be honest. I mean, 100% honesty. Lucked out that this taper here took up those extra set of dowel pins, so you never know that they were there. What had happened is when I was doing the marking for those dowel pins, didn't take into account the angle on the cut here, and just kind of got cart before the horse type of thing, and woke up in a dry sweat one night and realized what I had done, and came back the next day and corrected it and did all my lines and pencil marks and make sure everything lined up correctly. And again, I lucked out, to be 100% honest. Something I did off camera here, I got a Forstner bit. I believe it was a 3/4 inch Forstner bit. Dropped some holes, let's say 3/16 deep into these rails here, and frankly bought the red oak dowels that you're looking there at a big box store. I do have a lathe at home. I don't have the comfortability to say I could create, I think there's 12 of those dowels in there. I don't believe I have the consistency to make all of them even there. So the only thing I did there is cut them to length, took a 80 grit sandpaper and tried to taper the edges as much as possible so that those stretchers would encapsulate the dowels and give them a chance to move. I did not glue the dowels in. It's all floating in between the holes there. So as seasonal movement happens, those should be all right in there. So this was part of the project where I'll say the pucker factor really kicked in here. I had done a bunch of dry fits by this point, but doing dry fits versus doing actual glue ups is where kind of the rubber meets the road here, and the nerves really kick in here. So I had the dowels there for the bench bottom there, so the 3/4 inch dowels there. I wanted to keep the clamps on to make sure everything stayed together, so that way when I glued it here, it would make sure everything encapsulates. But again, this glue up went flawlessly. I was very nervous. There was a couple instances here where I was getting a little concerned that this wasn't going to go. Glue got dry too fast type of thing. But again, this all worked flawlessly, especially when I got up to the stretchers on the top part where the castle joints are in, and it gets everything gets oriented the way it's supposed to in the end here. So you can see I'm kind of playing with angles here and sweating this out, but everything really comes together here, and you can see that here. So next thing I kind of got into here is how am I going to fasten the tabletop to the base. And you can see I got a Forstner bit here, and I'm using these figure 8 clips. I've seen a couple different ways online from some of the I will say the professional content creators out there that either use the Z clips or they use these figure 8 clips. I've used the Z clips before. Had no issues with those. I actually use those on the Wenge kitchen table build that I have. It's actually the first video I've ever done on this channel. Use those clips there. Worked great. You actually can see the seasonal movement in the table, and the Z clips really give it a chance to do that. And wanted to try these figure 8s and see if anything different is going to happen with these. I know the end user for this table. They're located I don't know, about 2 hours west of my house here, so I can get some really nice feedback from them. They are located in Illinois like I am, and we'll be interested to know how these hold up and how these clips hold up. So these are designed and built to allow the seasonal the seasonal movement that you see in wood, and keep everything fastened into the table. Other thing I did here is actually drill some pilot holes. You can see I kind of angle that back into where the bulk of the wood is. Didn't want anything breaking out in front here. And I, even to the point, I actually put these blocks of woods here for when I screw in the figure 8 clips here, just to give it that extra little bit of support. I did not want to have any blowout here, and you can see I'm even angling those screws back towards where some of that meat is on these stretchers. I gotta say, on top of it, I really love these quick grip clamps here. I've seen some of those other ones by Rockler that's spring loaded. May get some of those in the future, but these things are super convenient and have very quickly become one of my favorite clamps to have in the shop. So this is a new tool I've gotten here, the router table here. It accepts the DeWalt router that I've used in the past before. That's what's actually hanging in the bottom of the box here. And what I'm doing here is taking the tabletop and putting a 45-degree chamfer on it. I am doing it at several different depths here. I'm not doing it to final depth on one cut. I'm going to do it in a couple different passes. Just wanted to see how the red oak reacts to the router here. Again, never working with this wood before, kind of wanted to get a feel for how this would react to the router. The other thing I'm doing here, and you can actually see it here in this clip, is the grain is running the long direction of this board. So I cut the long stretches of this board first, and then I'm coming across that end grain, hoping to make sure that I don't have any blowout on that material as I'm using the router. So I'm hoping that makes sense. I cut the long sections first because that's going with the grain, and creating kind of I'm hoping what I'm going to call is a relief here. And then when I come to where the edge grains, or the end grain, excuse me, is, because I have that cut in there and have that relief in there already, that I'm not going to get any blowout and tear out. And I didn't get that in this instance. I don't know if I got lucky or if my thought process actually makes sense here. But either way, I really love this router table. It really, I thought, helped me become faster and more efficient. And I felt safer doing it this way versus doing the router work by hand using wood clamps and clapping the tabletop to the table and moving clamps around, moving boards around. This just was a lot cleaner process for me here, and could have the vacuum and everything working in there. One thing I did do off camera and didn't really think was incredibly entertaining was the sanding. Sanded the base up to 120. The bottom of the tabletop went to 120. And actually the top of the table went to, I believe, 320. So what I did was sanded everything to 120. Went back, to the top. I did a wood pop. You can see that blue bottle in the top left of the screen there. It's just some water in there. Sprayed it on the top of the board, let it dry. It raises the grain. Came back with a 120 and then 220 over the top of it, and then went with a water pop one more time. So I went with 220 and then 320 on that water pop. This table's never going to see water. If it was up to me, it's going to sit at a front room. It's going to be keys and bowls and shoes type of thing in this area. So it's not going to be in a kitchen where cups and stuff are at. But it's what I'm accustomed to with all the cutting boards I create, and I think it gives it a lot smoother feel and finish, even with the water-based poly going on the top here. This is a poly I've used in the past. There's no stain or colorant in here. It's a water-based poly. I used it on the tabletop for the Wenge kitchen table that I did in the past. And again, I think I talked about this earlier, but it was the first table or the first project I ever actually posted on this channel. And it really brought out the grain structure in this top, and I'm super happy with it. This will be a polyurethane I will continue to use in the future. I will definitely be exploring other finishing waxes or polyurethanes, whether it's oil or water-based in the future. But this one's real happy, real simple, not happy, but really effective and easy to use, and something I will be using in the future. Did a couple different layers on this. Did one layer, let it dry, came back with a 220 sand just to kind of scuff it up a little bit. Took some denatured alcohol, got the sand off of it, and then put another layer on. I think I ended up doing 3 layers total on here, and just absolutely loved this project, and hope to post more stuff like this in the future, and hope you guys find this entertaining. I hope I at least helped one of you in the future here, and helped you maybe come up with some of your own projects here. So other than that, I'm going to shut up now, give you some more shop sounds here, and show you some glamour shots as we wrap up here. So thanks again for taking the time. I hope you made it this far in the video, and I really do appreciate you taking the time, and hope you enjoyed the content. Thanks again, guys.